I would like to just say a few words before we start the shir for Chavireinu Avraham Fleck, who was nifter today. He was nifter last night. His levaya was this morning. It was very, very fast. They made it 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was Avraham Fleck. He learned in the shir for 17 years, I think. Avraham Fleck. He was a bit. You remember? You'll still remember him. After the COVID, he wasn't able to come in. You're right. He knew the Gemara. He'd got it into.
Never came to the Sefer.
No. So I'll actually explain a little bit about him, why he knew it by heart, and pardon?
48.
I think it was early 70s. But I just want to say a few words about who he was. He grew up in Indiana, in America. I think Marianne, Indiana. Really a place where there's almost no. There's no schools, nothing. There was nothing. It was a midbar as far as Ruchnius goes, Judaism goes. I think he said there were two. I think there was another Jewish kid in the school. You should know him. He's been with you. He's been with you for that. And Rabbi, so he was 17 years he learned this year. Communion Toiv, I hope. And but he was born there. He came of age in a very difficult time in the 60s. And the 60s, where it was America, especially by the Midwest, it was Afghanis, it was permissive society, it was that's where he came of age, and that's where he went to college, and that was what was happening after him. But he was a person. He lived through that, went through that, but he was a searcher. The truth is, he was a searcher, and Lamai eventually found he came to Eretz Yisrael. I don't know how. Well, after a lot of Gilgulim, but I think he was in England at one point, and somewhere. I think so. He was telling me once he was in England. It was in his searches. He ended up in some commune in England, but. Eventually he came to Eretz Yisrael. I think he joined Rav Gusman's yeshiva, and eventually he settled down here. He got married here, and he settled down here in Yisrael Chesed. But he had a big problem with his eyes. That's why he very rarely had the Gemara open in front of him, because he had a major problem with his eyes. He had a big problem reading, but he had this brilliant memory. And he was, very often he would come up with things and bring other sugyas down, and we probably heard some very nice words about her, and Chiddushim in 17 years from him. So Taka went through that. He used to prepare it all on a tape. I think he went about 3 times. He did 3 times. He learned the Daf Yomi. That's including a shir, I think. And he did it with us for 2.5 cycles almost. And he was the Rav was Maspied. He gave a lot of money away. Big Bald Stocker, all Be'ilam Shmai. He had someone who gave it away for him, and davening. He used to get up to it's very hard for him to read. That's all. His sight was. He had major problem reading. So being possibly able to daven took him hours. He would sometimes he davened every day at Netzachama, and the next morning it was something. We had getting up 2:30, Pasha, to be able to say everything. The brachas, kavanas. It would take him a long time, and but he did it. That was his life. So Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Hasodim, from that way he came to a shleimus, and he'll be sorely missed. He's a personality who'll be sorely missed. He was a Eved Hashem, And like Avraham Avinu, it was Lech Lecha Mi'atzcha L'Adcha Beis Avicha. It was Mitnatek. He was mamish separated from the whole environment he grew up in, mamish separated. And it says, Avraham Avinu came to Israel, it says, he went, Holoich v'nosei ha'negba. The Mepharshim say Negba, he was looking for the Shekhinah. He was looking, came to Israel, he was looking, he's moving southwards, where eventually he'd find Yerushalayim and the southern area, and that's where he would find the Shekhinah. I think we can say that about Rabbi Avraham, that he was searching, and I believe he found Taka what he needed to find. So, Rabbi say that's some of the words. Right? That's just.